Hello again. I hope you are doing well. You and your loved ones and your family and your pets. I hope everything is going your way. Today's topic is so interesting. So give me ears, give me your brain, and let's speak. Most students think that learning starts when you give the right answer. No, actually, it starts way before that because research in cognitive science tells us almost the opposite. Because in multiple studies on error based learning, researchers found that making mistakes before being taught the correct answer can actually improve your memory. Because when your brain struggles and produces an incorrect guess, it becomes more alert when the correct answer comes, when the correct answer appears. Why? Because when you give an incorrect guess, your brain takes that moment as important because you failed in it, because you didn't know how to answer. That's why it remembers the correct answer more. And in many studies, students who studied by trying to recall the information before seeing it consistently outperformed students who just reread the material. I'm gonna say it again. Students who tried to recall the material that they studied before seeing it consistently outperformed students who reread the material without trying to recall it first, without trying to remember it first. Even when they got the wrong answers at first, it didn't matter. But why? Why would a wrong answer help your brain remember better? Because of something that your brain does silently. When you attempt an answer, your brain starts searching in memory networks. Now, memory networks are engaged already, even if you give the wrong answer. So when the correct answer comes your way, your brain does something delicious. It does not just store the correct answer, it stores the correct answer and the comparison between the guess that you made and the correct answer. So at the exam day, you do not just remember the correct answer, you remember even why the correct answer is correct and why the guess was wrong. Isn't this beautiful? I love science and I love the brain. So when you get something wrong first, your brain becomes more sensitive to the correction of that thing. It's like your attention gets upgraded automatically about that thing because your brain registers it as this matters. I made an error here. And this error, it's called the error signal. And the error signal is linked to dopamine-based learning systems, which help reinforce information. I'm gonna explain it. So what's dopamine-based learning systems? Your brain does not use dopamine just for motivation. Your brain uses dopamine also to learn what does matter, so we can pay attention to it. When you think that something is correct and it turns out to be wrong, your brain detects a prediction error. It predicted wrong. Your brain thought that it will be X, but in reality it was Y. And that mismatch creates an error signal. Now, here where the dopamine kicks in, because dopamine neurons react strongly to surprises and prediction errors. They do not just spike when something feels good, they spike also when your brain expected something but you got something else in reality. They spike when something is different from what your brain experienced. For example, if you gave a wrong answer, you tried to answer a question and you either gave the wrong answer or you were confused and not sure about the correct answer. And then you read the correct answer. Your brain goes, okay, this is important, update this. So that dopamine-based signal helps your brain straighten the memories. It will help your brain weaken the wrong guess and update future predictions. So the key idea is not dopamine equal just pleasure. Dopamine helps your brain decide which information is worth updating and storing more strongly. This is also why passive reading fades quickly. It feels productive when you take the material and you just reread it. It feels productive, it feels like studying, but it fades quickly. Because passive reading is familiarity. It just creates familiarity, and familiarity is not memory, but retrieval of the information that you studied and you do not quite remember well, That retrieval creates construction. And when you reconstruct the informations in your brain, that builds stronger neural pathways. Because now you are remembering, memory networks are being engaged, and you are reconstructing what you have learned. So the most effective way to use this in your real life, it's simple. Before checking your notes or your answers, pause, try to recall them, to retrieve them without looking at the answers or the notes. And then, even if you give the wrong answer, it's okay. Then check the answers immediately after that. Because that tiny moment of struggle is not a mistake in the learning. It is the learning. So, I guess this should show you that biologically and scientifically, we learn better when we fail. We learn better when we make a mistake. Why would you be afraid of a mistake? Your brain loves mistakes. Your brain loves failure. From failure, you learn. From failure, you learn best. From failure, you learn better. From making a mistake and making the wrong thing, you learn better. So there's no need to be afraid. Go make mistakes. Go guess all the wrong answers. That's how you learn better. That's how your brain prefers it. You cannot learn without making mistakes. You cannot learn in this life without getting it wrong first, and you cannot succeed without failures. So let's embrace failure. Failure and making the wrong thing is not the enemy, it's the friend. It is there to make you learn deeply. And I love you as always, and I see you tomorrow in a new video.